Ever been asked to support a pupil with SEND, that's special educational needs and disabilities, and felt unsure where to start? Maybe you've thought, what actually am I looking for? What if I get it wrong? How do I know what they need? If you've had those thoughts, you're not alone, and this video will help you feel more confident and clear about what to do. Hello, fabulous TAs. I'm Lauren Reasoner, and I was a TA one-to-one and HLTA for 20 years. I even did 6 weeks of teacher training, but I absolutely hated it. And now I create videos that answer all your TA questions. So if you want to learn more about being a TA, grow in confidence, cope with interviews, and all manner of other TA related stuff, start right now by subscribing to my channel. Now, as a TA, one of your most valuable skills is the ability to really see the child in front of you. Not just the label, not just the behaviour, but the whole person. Observing and identifying the needs, capabilities, and interests of a student with SEND isn't a one off task. It's something you build over time with curiosity, patience, and a good toolkit. And today I'm giving you some tools for that toolkit. So the first one is understanding needs. What support does this pupil actually need? Now, needs are often tied to a diagnosis, but not all children will have one. So your role is to notice how those needs show up day to day. These may include learning needs, communication barriers, sensory issues, or social challenges. And here are 3 ways to understand their needs. 1. Watch and record. Use short, regular observation notes. What tasks do they find overwhelming? What environments trigger anxiety? What helps them stay calm and focused? Now, don't stand there with a clipboard and a pen and intensely, watch child. You get to notice these things when you're interacting with them. So, you can stand, away from a group of children and just watch unobtrusively, or you can engage with them and observe as you are engaging with them. And just have a little post-it note or something that you can jot things down quickly. 2, ask, don't assume. If they can communicate, gently ask them what they find tricky. So you can say things like, do you like sitting here? Or does this feel difficult or easy? And, other ways to ask these questions are to use pictures. Do you like this, or this? And use pictures. And if you've got a student that's got English as an additional language, as well as, because having English as an additional language is not part of a special educational need or disability, but you might have a student with EAL who also has a special educational need or disability. And so you might need to find out more. There are apps now that you can use to help them so that you can ask questions in their language to help you find out, from the horse's mouth, as it were, how they feel about something. 3, use your colleagues. So check in with the class teacher and the Senko regularly so you can find things out like, are there EHCP targets, or has something changed recently at home? 2, spotting capabilities. What are they good at, even if it's not obvious yet? Sometimes we focus so much on the barriers that we miss the strengths. Every student has something they can do well, and noticing it helps them build self-esteem. Can you imagine if because in education, we're always looking for the academic thing. Don't get me started on that. Intelligence comes in lots and lots of different ways. But if they're really good at something else, but they struggle, say, with their sort of more academic learning, It's that we tend to focus on rather than, what actually can they do. So, 3 ways to spot capabilities. 1, look for patterns. When do they light up? When are they calm? Maybe they're great at puzzles, brilliant at remembering stories, or kind to a younger child. 2, set them up to shine. Try small tasks where success is likely. So for some children who absolutely hate sitting down to work, can they hand out the books? Can they help another student? Um, can they do the work if they're using a computer, a tablet? Watch how they respond. And 3, celebrate small wins. If they've managed to sit for 5 minutes longer than yesterday, that's growth, and it's really important to acknowledge it. And I would say if they've managed to sit still for like 5 seconds longer than they did yesterday, then acknowledge it, because for some children it's the tiny tiny things that you need to build on, because they never can. You imagine what it's like to be a child with special educational needs, in school and at home with adults who are busy, and the adults are pointing out more of the stuff that the kid is doing wrong than pointing out what they're doing right. It must be absolutely soul destroying. So really try hard to really find those small wins and celebrate them every single day. And 3, discovering interest. So what sparks their curiosity or enthusiasm? So interests are golden. They're the bridge to engagement, motivation, and learning. If a child loves trains, use trains. If they love art, bring in colour. If they're good at numbers, then use numbers, even use numbers in their English lessons. So you've got to bring their interest into whatever subject they are learning, and particularly the ones that they're struggling with. Adapt that lesson to include that interest. So here are 3 ways to discover their interests. So 1, involve their families. Ask their parents or carers what their child enjoys at home, a favourite game, a favourite book, or film that they love. What videos do they like to watch? Anything that is an interest. Ask their parents or carers. 2, offer variety. So, particularly if you're in a sort of more early years setting, you can rotate activities and materials. Watch what they choose and return to. That's where observation is really important. So, if you're in a nursery or foundation or even year 1 where there's a role play area, what do they really appear to be interested in? And 3, notice enthusiasm. Do they smile when music plays? Get excited about dinosaurs? Uh, do they mention a favourite topic again and again? Those are all your clues, and it's really important to start tuning into these things and thinking, oh, right, okay, yes, they said that yesterday. Maybe that's something I can use as a way in. So you don't need to be an expert in every diagnosis or condition. You just need to really notice the child in front of you. And as I said, not all children will have received a conclusive diagnosis, or they may not have one at all. So observing with care and curiosity is one of the most powerful things you can do as a TA, because that will enable you to support the needs of individual children regardless of a diagnosis. Because, not all children, as I say, not all children will have one. But that doesn't mean they haven't got this need. If they have a need but they don't have a diagnosis, well, that doesn't mean to say they don't have the need, because you can patently see this child is struggling with behaviour, or this child is extra sensitive to noise. Well, they're not autistic. Well, okay, it doesn't matter. They're still sensitive to noise. So that's really what I'm talking about, because that will mean that you don't just support learning, you will be helping that young person to feel seen, understood, and valued. And that's real impact. Now, I hope this video has helped. And if you're looking for clear, practical support to boost your confidence as a teaching assistant, then you might like to see all my free TA in Control resources. Because whether you're navigating SEND support, behaviour strategies, or everyday classroom tasks, these resources are created to be immediately useful. No fluff, no jargon, just helpful tools you can put into action right away. And if you'd like to get your hands on them, then like the one you can see in the image there, that will help you continue the wonderful work you do, type "free resources please" in the comments section below this video, and I will see you in another video.